Hello and welcome to Jill Cameron Creations. Today we're going to be taking a look at another three cards actually, that I did for the design team over at Hedgehog Hollow. And I am using the Feathers Border stamp set for this. And there's no sentiments in this set, it's just feathery looking borders, and they are so detailed and so pretty. And when I saw them, I knew what I wanted to do with them immediately. That was one thing that I really liked about when I opened this kit. I had a million ideas as soon as I opened the box and saw the different stamps that were in here. And this month, in September, of course, they are peacock and feather themed. Very pretty. And you can do just about anything with these. I wanted to create some repeated pattern backgrounds that I hand stamped myself instead of using patterned paper. So I have a couple different ways that I did this. Number one, I'm going to have some tips for you here. This is also over on the Hedgehog Hollow blog, and it will be over on my blog too at jillcameroncreations.com. Now, what I did was I put a piece of type-in paper down over top of my work surface. I can still barely see the white lines. It doesn't show up on the camera, but I can still barely see the white lines that is behind my type-in paper there. And I used that mainly, honestly, so you could see the paper and stuff on camera, and it would be easier cleanup for me later. That's honestly why I did it. However, it's really helpful for you too. If you square up that type-in paper, it will be really obvious if your paper is crooked on there. Because let's face it, if you stamp a mostly straight image and you stamp it not purposefully crooked and everything else on there is stamped, it will stand out. Now, I know that we're doing handmade cards and we're not going to stress about it, but this is a really easy way to just kind of eye it and go for it. You'll also notice that the stamping block that I am using has a grid pattern on it. That way I can put my stamp in the center of the stamping block and get my best image possible. You will notice also on this purple panel that I almost screwed up really bad. I forgot to put my anti-static powder tool on here. And when you're heat embossing something, this is super important, because you don't want stray embossing powder everywhere. And I went over it. I stamped that first one over there on the left hand side on that panel, and then I went ahead and did my anti-static powder tool everywhere else. It turned out perfectly. I didn't need to go back and redo it. You'll also notice that I am stamping, pouring the embossing powder, and then I'm going to heat set all of them at once. I'm just setting them aside so I don't knock and put my fingers in it and mess up my pretty stamp in there, because I will do that. Also, I'm using a coffee filter to funnel my leftover embossing powder back into my jar. You can use a MISTI stamping tool, or if you still have availability of like the Tim Holtz stamp platform, you would be able to use that as well and just move your paper instead of moving the stamp. I have gotten to where and I'm sorry the camera's going in and out of focus. My hand was going up closer to the camera, and I'm sorry it's going in and out of focus. But for me, this is a whole lot easier. I don't need a fancy tool for this. And you'll notice that I also stamped these a little differently on each of them. On the first black and white one, I stamped the image, and then I turned my stamp around and I stamped it the other way and off a different edge of the paper. So it was kind of staggered a little bit. On the last one, the silver and purple one, you saw that I stamped the staggered heights so it looked like it was coming up from the bottom of the page. For this one, I stamped them all the same direction, coming in from one side. And this is copper on navy, which I absolutely love. This is gorgeous. Now, I did leave in the heat setting part of this because, let's face it, that is the best part of heat embossing. It is gorgeous. And this is the first one that I did. And I pulled out a hard board here, and this is just a kitchen cutlery board that I use. And it saves my work surface from warping on my black mat. It keeps it from warping. And this is beautiful. Look at this. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Look at that detail in that stamp. Kills me. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Now for these cards, I did keep them really, really simple as well, because I wanted the stamping to stand out on these. I wanted that heat embossed image to really stand out on these cards and keep them really simple. These are easily mass produced as well if you wanted to. This right here could be done in this particular image because it's so simple and pretty. You could do this as a Christmas image even and make it a Christmas card and do it in white and red or white and green or whatever combination of Christmas colors you wanted to do and put a Christmas message on it. Be beautiful as that. And these would be easily mass produced, especially if you used a stamping tool for it where you just slide your paper up in it. That would be an amazing card to do. And do simple card sets as gifts as well for Christmas. We have that coming up, so it's on everybody's brain. Now, what I did next was I went ahead and I cut each panel down to different sizes, and I used my favorite part. And that's one thing that I really love about when I cut down an image that I've stamped. And I could use the rest of this image if I wanted to, my stamped background here. I could actually use the rest of it if I wanted to on something else, like a little sliver of it for the color and the pattern. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, just hang on to it and don't throw the piece away. But I cut these down so I would have 3 different sized panels for my cards. For some of them, I'll add a pop of color, like on this black and white one. I mount it on a top folding regular size note card. All of my finished cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And what I did was I added a pop of teal color to this. Absolutely gorgeous. I did a pop of teal for the sentiment. Yes, I'm going to zoom out in here just a second. I did a pop of teal color for the sentiment on there, and then I'm also going to add some Nuvo drops, which you'll see in just a minute at the end. I use a Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine for my die cutting machine. Absolutely love it. And I hit my camera right there. I just popped it just as good. I just popped it. So keep in mind that card makers are not perfect people. We make mistakes, and I like leaving my mistakes in my videos because I think it adds an authenticity to it, but it also sometimes I can show you how I fix my mistakes, and that's very important too, so you don't scrap your entire project. So I ran all of these through my die cutting machine and cut my panels down. For 2 of these, I'm going to pop them up as well. And all the links below will be below in the description below the video over on YouTube. The product links as well as links to my blog and the Hedgehog Hollow blog. Everything will be below in the description. And if you have any questions or comments, definitely you can leave me a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you've ever watched any of my videos before, especially in the past couple of months, you know that's kind of been a little sparse here and there, and that's because I had to go back to working outside of the home full time. But my schedule's kind of calming down now and becoming a more regular schedule, so I'm able to do a little bit more videos and a little bit more card making than I was there for a while when my schedule at the previous job was just crazy and nuts. So things are calming down and looking a lot better, and I am so thrilled to be with the Hedgehog Hollow design team. They are an amazing group and so encouraging to each other, and it's an amazing experience thus far, and I can look forward to continuing to work with them. So you notice I'm using my mat. You don't have to make and do anything fancy. You don't even have to have a stamp positioning tool to get great results for your sentiments. Use your grid mats. Use your grids on your stamping blocks. Center up. Put the corner that you're going to stamp on in that corner on your grid mat and line it up. If you're worried about hitting it, just stick a piece of washi tape on it so it'll hold it to the mat and you don't have to worry about it moving around. Center up your stamp on your block. See, that's what I'm doing here. I'm using the grid line on my mat to line up and make sure that it's straight. And then I'm putting it on a line on my grid mat. You noticed a minute ago here I'm stamping the sentiment on my typing paper, and what I'm doing is actually seasoning my stamp a little bit. The dirtier your stamp and the more that you use it, the better the ink is going to adhere to it. That's one reason why when you have a stained stamp, it actually stamps better. It might not look the prettiest in the world, but it stamps a lot better. And I actually will have a link over on my blog on my blog post on how I season my stamps. I have a whole blog post about that too. So don't forget that you need to head over to the Hedgehog Hollow blog and get your monthly kits. That's important because they sell out pretty quick, and you need to go ahead and sign up for them. And even if this one's not available, next month's will be just as amazing. So head over there, and I'll have a link below to the shop so you can get that. Now, I popped this up with some foam tape, and I use 3M Scotch foam tape there, and I buy the great big roll of it. I don't buy the little rolls. I buy the great big huge roll of it. And then for my regular just dry adhesive, I use that great big huge ATG tape gun for most things because it's just easy, and I think it's the best price. And what I'm doing is I'm matching my sentiment strip to the card base. I'm matching that cardstock up. And see, I'm just using the corner there and getting everything straight. Now, I did not put anti-static powder tool on this, and I lucked out that it worked just perfectly fine. Oh my goodness, I just noticed that. Shame on me. Always use anti-static powder tool. Don't do as I do. Trust me, do the anti-static powder tool on everything. Now, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can continue to watch my crazy antics and my card making adventures over here and see more of the Hedgehog Hollow design team. I'm also on another design team that's the Odd Sentiments blog, and it's a challenge blog, and it's based on sentiments and stuff, and I generally don't do a video for it, but I do have more of that over on my blog and the cards I make for that. I do a lot of Copic coloring with those particular stamps and stuff. So go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything, and check out the Hedgehog Hollow blog. There's definitely more design team cards over there for you to check out. And now I'm going to add some Nuvo drops here and put those spots of color and really pop that black and white one. Oh, that was my favorite one, along with the color combination of the navy and the copper. That's just beautiful in person. That's one thing that that just blows me away, is how different a card looks in person than it does in photos and videos and stuff. It is absolutely gorgeous in person. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video and you learned something, and pull out some of those border stamps that you have and make some backgrounds. See what you can use for this. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and head over to the Hedgehog Hollow blog. And I'm going to go ahead and peace out here and let you finish watching this with just a tad bit of music. There's also the pictures of the cards at the end of the video so you can see them all finished up. Have an amazing day. Thanks for joining me.